Okay, so today we're going to talk about goal setting, okay, and as it pertains to financial stability, budgeting, and establishing credit, okay? So all of those things, that's why I introduced this during the accounting and finance, because personal finance is exactly the same as corporate finance, right? The decisions you make should be based on finances or specific goals that you've set. Just like a company sets goals, you're going to set goals for your life, whether they're financial goals or whether they're lifestyle goals, personal goals, professional goals. Just like a company, you set these goals, then you determine how do I reach them. And that's why I always start this segment on just, how do you set effective goals? And so I'm going to go over that really quick. The first question, I'm going to cover this up here, is a goal versus a dream. Okay, can everybody see that? Let's see here. I'm learning how to use nope, wrong way. Right way. There we go. So, can anybody tell me the difference between a goal and a dream? Anybody? Sorry, I'm adjusting the TV here. Anybody? Goals versus dreams.
I feel like goals might be smaller.
So goals are smaller, okay? Anybody else?
A goal's attainable, a dream is not.
Okay.
Goals have a more specific time frame than dreams.
Okay. What else?
I think a dream is attainable.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me more about that, Tyler.
Well, I guess in order to achieve a dream, you have to set goals, I feel like. So once you attain those goals, then your dream becomes attainable.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree? Okay. What else? I tell you what, let's do this. I want you to take just a minute, 2 minutes. I want you to write down a dream you have and a goal you have. Just really quickly. Just write down one goal, and one dream. And if they're the same, that's fine too. Could be a short-term goal or a long-term goal or a long-term dream, something you've always dreamt of doing.
Goal could be to graduate college.
Do what?
Goal could be to graduate college.
Okay, a goal could be, yeah, that could be one. You are all going to graduate college. Let me just go ahead and solidify that goal for you, Karen. Yeah. So give me an example. There's one example, graduate from college. Give me another goal. Anybody has, or a dream. Give me a goal or a dream.
A goal I have is to get up surfing, like to stand up.
Love that goal. One of my favorite goals right there. Because as soon as you do it the first time, anybody who surfs here, I know some of you surf, I'm looking at the camera here. The first time you do it, you just never forget the first time. First, right? Anybody? You never forget the first time you surfed? Yeah. Okay, so that's a good goal. Give me another one. Or a dream.
A dream I have is to own a boutique here in San Diego, and my goal is to open up a e-business first.
Okay.
This year.
So, Kareem, you want to open up a business, right?
Yeah. Hopefully in the future I can open a boutique in San Diego.
Okay. One more. Somebody give me one more. I love these.
A dream is to have in-person classes.
Mine's Yeah, class. So
Uh-oh.
so let's just think about it this way. The difference between a goal and a dream is, and somebody said it a little bit, kind of intimated to this a little bit, goals are written down, right? Goals are something a little more specific, something more tangible. And they all start with a dream, right? You don't just all of a sudden wake up and just go, oh, I'm going to do this. Typically, it's something you've thought about, you've dreamed about. That's why most people say when you're setting goals, the first step in setting goals is to kind of let yourself daydream. Let yourself think about what the possibilities are, right? Whether they're financial or lifestyle. I had a student today that I met with this morning before class. She's a history major and she's a junior. She's struggling with what to do as a career. And I said, okay, you know, she's all, I could be a lawyer, I could be a teacher, I could be, you know, an underwater archaeologist, I could do all these things. And I said, okay, well, what's motivating? What's driving you to have a career? Is it money? Is it a lifestyle? Is it? And she's like, you know, I don't want to work 60 hours a week. I said, well, then don't be a lawyer. Because billable hours for most junior associate lawyers are about 4,000 hours, 35 to 4,000 hours. That's a lot of hours. And I said, okay, so what are the things that drive you? She's like, I've always dreamed about, you know, having a lifestyle where I can have time off, where I can spend time with family, where I can travel. I said, okay. So she started with this dream, and we're over, you know, the next year and a half, her and I are going to develop this plan, these goals that she can achieve to fulfill her career goals and get a job that's going to fulfill those, right? Quality of life. And so that was her, but it all started with a dream. So goals and dreams are similar in that, you know, it's a vision of what you want to do, just like a company envisions. You know, we have a goal we need to reach. You know, I'm sure that Jeff Bezos just didn't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to open up the garage door. I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff in there. I'm going to start selling it and I'm going to start shipping it. No, it started with a dream that he had about starting this business, like a boutique. And then that dream turned into, okay, here are the goals I need to achieve that dream. And then all of a sudden that goal was more solid, more concrete. And once these dreams become more grounded, then potentially they become reality. Any thoughts on that? Any questions on that? So why don't most people achieve their goals? How many of you have ever set a goal you didn't achieve? Why didn't you achieve that goal?
Lack of discipline.
Oh, Grammy said a lack of discipline. Okay. Who else? Anybody else?
Could be an unrealistic goal.
Unrealistic goal. Okay. Something we used to call them, and actually I wish I could have coined this phrase. In Good to Great, anybody read Good to Great? Read it. Great book. They talk about this thing called a BHAG. A BHAG is basically a goal. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. It's a goal that is within your grasp, but just out of reach. A BHAG should push you to achieve more than you think you can achieve. And so, yeah, so maybe it's unrealistic. What's another reason?
Like physical inability in sports, if you get hurt and you aren't able to finish a season or something.
Yeah, Sarah, right? Maybe you had a goal to do this in soccer or this in, basketball or baseball, and you've set this goal and potentially it's an injury or something. There's some sort of obstacle in your way that's causing you not to be able to achieve this goal. Another reason is a lot of people just don't write their goals down. That's the difference. That's specifically the difference between a lot of the times when people set goals and they set them in their head and there's nothing tangible about them, right? They're still basically in the dream state. And so ideally what you want to do is come up with these goals and you want to write them down, right? Whether they're financial. Somebody give me an example of a financial goal. Somebody give me an example of a financial goal. Anybody? A financial goal.
To earn 5% more or 2% more than you did in the last week.
Yeah, earn a certain percentage more than you did the previous week or the previous month. Perfect. Somebody give me a lifestyle goal.
Buying like a certain house or car.
Okay. Which, Michaela, could be both a financial and a lifestyle goal. But yeah, maybe it's I want to buy a house in Costa Rica. I don't know. Who doesn't want to live in Costa Rica? Or maybe it's, I want to spend more quality time with my family. Those are all examples potentially of that. It's really weird right now. I'm talking to a camera. I'm not a big fan of the camera right now, just so you know. It's kind of weird because I'm talking to you all on this big giant screen, but I'm supposed to be looking into the camera. So anyway, yes. So how do we set good goals? There's a certain system. How many of you have ever heard of SMART goals? Raise your hand. One of you, two of you, perfect. Have you ever, that you know about it, have you ever used the SMART goal system? Awesome. Sarah, give me the goal that you used during the SMART goal session or the SMART goal.
We used it in cross country. So like before every race, we do visualizations and like know the course and then just like plan when you're gonna, I don't know, use the most power during the race and what your end goal time was.
Okay.
But then we'd break it down by chunks of like what time you should be hitting so that they could be attainable and all that. Okay, cool. So you used a good word, attainable. That's part of it. Okay. Let's see. Lila, how about you? You said you used SMART goals before?
Yeah, in a few of my classes, I had to do it. So like in my PE class, like the SMART goal is like specific, measurable, attainable. I forget the R and like time.
Yeah.
And so it was like we had to design a workout plan. So it's like I'm gonna work out like 2 days a week, do this, do that, like for this amount of time. That kind of
stuff. Perfect. And then Haley, you said you used it before?
Yeah, I did it for like preparing to like play college golf. So
okay.
It was all about like tournament scoring average and then how often we would practice and then like what score range we wanted to be in.
Okay, perfect. So I heard components of all of the steps of a SMART goal. So I'm just going to really quickly go through what a SMART goal looks like. And I want to tie this back to what you're going to do next week when we talk about credit, okay, personal credit, how to establish credit, how to establish good credit versus bad credit. And then when you're working with Steve Cosentino in Excel, you're going to create a personal budget, okay? And right now that may not mean a lot to you. You may say, well, I don't really have any money to budget. But if you've watched the video, the lecture video, you looked at basically profit and loss statements for a company, okay? And so an income statement for a company is just like an income statement for a person. You've got revenues, which for a company is sales. For a person, it's your paycheck, okay, minus taxes. Okay, and then you've got expenses for a company. Those are cost of goods sold and operating expenses and stuff like that. And for a person, that's just expenses. And then the difference between those two is what you take home, right? What you have left over at the end of the month, or for a company, that's net income, okay? And so what companies will do is they will budget. They will create, those of you who are finance majors, potentially part of your job is going to be helping different departments in your organization create monthly, yearly, quarterly budgets. Here's how much money we need to raise. Here's what our allotted expenses can be. And then here's what our income needs to be. And you track that every month, just like you are going to do with this budget you create in Excel. When you tie goals, your budget, okay, and then, the credit piece, because having a well-established credit will either help, or not having well-established credit will hinder achieving your goals, okay? And again, you can't start too early with that. But what I want to show you is really quick. So I want to talk about the SMART goal. Can you see that? I'm going to go to the board here. Let me see here if I can do this. And I'm going to zoom in to, sorry, again, just learning. There we go. There we go. Where is it? Right behind me. Okay, we're going to zoom in here. Zoom. Okay, and we're going to move it up. So, SMART goals. The S, can somebody tell me again, what does the S stand in a SMART goal? Anybody?
So we can't really see the S. It's a little close
Oh,
up.
no, that's fine. You don't need to see it, but tell me what the S stands for.
Okay.
Let me.
One more time.
What does it stand for?
I have no idea.
Specific.
Specific. Right? Oftentimes we set goals that are not specific enough. In other words, it could be something like, I want to make, or I want to pay off a loan, or I want to buy a car, or I want to learn how to surf. If you want to achieve your goals, one, you got to write them down, but two, you have to be specific about the goal you're trying to achieve, okay? So that's the S. Anybody, what's the M?
Measurable.
Yep. Measurable. Okay. How do I know that I've started to achieve the goal? Right? If I say I want to make this much amount of money, if I'm specific and I said I want to make a 2% increase in my salary year over year for the next 10 years. Okay. At the end of that 10 years, I can measure that. And it's specific. In order to be measurable, it's got to be specific. You can't measure a goal like I want to make more money. Okay, well, what is that? What does more mean? More is very ambiguous. I want to be nicer. I want to work harder. There's no way to measure any of those because they're all. It's just like when you create your skills section of your resume. Many of you, your skills section will include, I'm a great communicator. I'm a good team player. I work hard. Those are unmeasurable attributes, not skills. Now, if you say, I can use pivot tables in Excel, I can measure that. I can use data analytics. I'm a certified Google Analytics. Those are all measurable. Just like a goal. If you want a goal to be measurable and achievable, you have to set something super specific. Next one. What is A?
Achievable or attainable.
Attainable, right? Somebody said earlier, it's got to be something realistic, right? So for me, it's not going to be, I don't know, I can't think of one that's unattainable. I can't dunk a basketball. I watched this guy yesterday, this video of this guy. I watched this video of this guy the other day. He couldn't have been more than 5'4", and he's dunking the basketball. Just some guy just dunking, and he worked really hard. And it showed his progress on dunking the basketball. And I was like, yeah, that's unattainable for me at this point in my life. But yeah, so it's got to be attainable. It's got to be something that, one, is within your realistic abilities, but also something you want to do, right? To be attainable, it's got to be something based out of that dream that you have. Because you could say, yeah, I want to do this. And if it's not truly something that truly motivates you, then it's probably not something you're ever going to wind up doing. Right? So again, those goals should feed off those dreams. Okay? Same thing with R. What's R?
Realistic.
Yeah, so some people it's interchangeable. Some people say realistic. I think attainable is the same as being realistic. I like results oriented, right? So for me, results oriented. So some people say specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and then the T. I like results. What does that mean? Anybody have a clue as to what results oriented means?
Displays of
Do what? What was that, Chris?
like a display of progress. If one day, say I made like $5, the other day I made like $6, like right after. So I earned $1 more.
Yeah, it's using statements of positivity, right? Being positive about this dream resulting, or this goal resulting from a dream, right? Saying, you know, I can accomplish, or I have. So something, it shouldn't be, you know, it shouldn't be based out of the negative. It should always have a positive tone to it, a results tone, an accomplishment tone. Does that make sense? Okay. So again, I love to go back to the one like starting a business, you know, that whole mindset of results. When I give you some examples, you're going to see the result of that. But having like, you know, this month I want to do this. This month I'm going to accomplish this, right? Because we don't set goals. Like again, mine was a bad one because 10 years is not related to the last one. What's the T stand for? What's the T stand for? There's the T.
The time.
Yeah, timely. I'm going to zoom out here. Yeah, goals need to be timely. So if I say, yeah, I want to do this in 10 years. No joking around. I'm going to turn this off. This is just killing me right here. This is too much for me. Sorry, I need to see you. And I'm looking at the camera and I'm, you know, I'm actually going to unplug right now. And how are we doing? Now I can actually look at you and talk to you instead of talking into a camera. When you come into the classroom, you're going to see there's these cameras. This is going to be a great system if we have to do a hybrid class where we have some students in class and some students via video, via Zoom. But right now, I prefer to look at your faces instead of looking at a camera and talk to you. So SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, results-oriented, and timely. Okay? And so again, to say, yeah, I want to do something in 10 years. The way things are going right now, who knows what's going to happen in 10 years? Most goals, most realistically accomplished, right, goals are set within maybe a year to 2 years, right? So Cameron, for you to say, I'm going to graduate from, you know, my goal is to graduate from college. You know, that's a great goal, you know, and how do you do that, right? How do you make sure you make that goal? It's 4 years out for you, or 3.5 years out for you, and that's not too far in advance. But there's certain things you want to do to understand how you're going to do that. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of poorly written goals. Okay. And then I want to talk just a little bit more about the results portion. So here's a goal that is poorly written. I want to have money for vacation. Okay. I'm going to give you a chance. What's a better way to write that goal? First of all, is it specific, measurable, attainable, results-oriented, timely? Give me an example of that goal. Rephrase that goal. Or somebody just, how about this? Somebody just rephrase one part of it. Give me the specific. So when they say, I want to have money for vacation, more money for vacation, give me a specific example of that.
I think it should more be like, my goal is to be able to save this much money by this time.
Okay.
In order to.
Yeah, so that's the whole, right? So maybe, yeah, so I want to save this much money in this much time. Or maybe I want to go to, Tahiti. So my goal, at least that's specific. I want to save more money for vacation to Tahiti. So now I can envision myself, there, or Costa Rica, or Nicaragua. I can envision myself there. Okay, so just calling out the place I want to go on vacation makes it more attainable. Okay, give me an example of the measurable. More measurable.
A benchmark of what you want to save up for. So if I save up like $500 for this vacation, then
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so potentially, so you've got a vacation to Costa Rica and I want to save $500. Okay. One, is it attainable? Depends. There's, you may need to, for you all, can you say $500? Pretty easy, I don't know. Okay. The results oriented, right? How can we put a positive spin on this? How can we put a positive spin on this? How can we make this more results oriented? Anybody? Maybe you turn it into a reward system. Maybe you flip it and maybe it's not about the vacation. Maybe it's about building better savings habits. Okay. So if it's that, then maybe it's a reward. And then timely, when are you going to take this vacation? In 20 years, 10 years, 5 years? So the way that they have it phrased here, I love it. I will have saved $5,000 by New Year's Day. That's specific, measurable, and timely. Okay. So we've got a specific amount of money to be saved by a specific amount of time. And then I will reward myself with a trip to Hawaii with my family. So there's the results, right? Now, the only thing I don't like about this is ideally you want to set, once you've set that goal, if that's your goal, what's the next step in that? I'm going to give you another example really quick before. I'll try to invest more. Okay. That's a pretty broad goal. Instead, I will take a class on investing and find a trusted advisor by my birthday this year. Or I'll pay my credit cards and hospital bills. Or by focusing on keeping expenses low, I will pay in full my $4,200 credit card bill and clear my hospital bills from my credit by the end of this year. When you create, that's pretty specific. When you create these specific goals, these specific measurable, attainable, results-oriented, and timely goals, and write them down, even if you just started by the writing them down piece, you'll find goals are so much easier. Anybody use like passion planners or any sort of like a written down planner? Kareem, do you use the passion planner or a planner? Yeah.
I use a planner, and honestly, if I don't have my planner, I really feel lost. I have to fill out and check mark everything that I had planned that day.
I love it. I love it. And I saw, Sarah, you have your planner. I love it. I still use a hand planner. I use my cell phone as well, and I use Google and stuff. But if I want to make sure something gets done, I write it down. I mean, that's just, I'm high achiever. So for me, I like to write things down and check them off my list. So that works for me. But even just to have that goal set. So I've got my specific, measurable, attainable, results-oriented, and timely goal. The next step in that is you need to set benchmarks. So was it Lila, were you the one that said you wanted to surf?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to stand up surfing. So you set a goal. By December, I want to stand up for the first time on my surfboard, whatever. So that's your kind of better, you wrote it down, and you're just going to do what to achieve that? Wait till December comes, jump in the water. It's, 56 degrees now here in San Diego. Right now it's 70, 72, a little bit warmer. I'm just going to jump in, paddle out, here at Garbages, paddle into a wave and stand up. Is that how you're going to do it? No. Right? No. What are you going to do?
You go out a lot and you keep trying until it happens. You can't just do it one time. You
So
practice
really
paddling and back.
Okay. So Lila, is a lot a specific word, or is it kind of an ambiguous word?
It's more ambiguous. You go out a few times a week. Let's say 3 times a week. You go out surfing with your friends.
Because what's a few?
Best.
What's a few to you? What's a few?
3 or 2.
3, maybe 4. I'm from Texas. What's a couple? What's a couple? Right? A couple's 2. A few is as many as 10. Right? But if we say something to the effect of, I've set my SMART goal, and now in order to achieve that goal, 4 times a week in the morning, I'm going to get up, paddle out at this specific spot with my board, and I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to practice my paddling. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to practice just sitting on the board, just sitting out in the waves and feeling what that's like, right? You take it step by step. This month, I want to be able to actually catch a wave and just ride it in on my stomach. Or maybe next week, I want to do this. It's results oriented. Okay. It's just like saving money. This week, I want to save $100 out of my paycheck. I want to set $100 aside of my paycheck and open a savings account to save money to be able to go on a LoveWorks trip or to be able to go on a Nicaraguan clean water trip. Okay. It's really important that you, one, write it down, set the goal, and then take it step by step, right? What are the small steps that I need to achieve to make sure I get this goal done? Does that make sense? When it comes to establishing credit, next week when we talk about that, it's going to be, okay, maybe it's credit card debt, maybe it's student loan debt, maybe it's, being able to pay that debt off. We're going to talk about that, what that looks like, what good debt versus bad debt, what a good credit score can do for you, what a bad credit score can do for you. Okay. And so these are all part of the goals. And then when you go into Excel and you start to set up this budget, you're going to find that if I set these goals, I can help. One of the things that we do I sometimes teach the Excel piece. I just sit there and go, okay, tell me the things that you buy. And we literally just write on the board. We fill like 2-3 boards full of the things that you buy. Then what are the things that you want? We fill boards with that. And those are the things that you have to incorporate in your budget, the goals that you've set, right? Your credit limits, your financial limits. And then we look at those, okay? It's all one big puzzle. And so if you look in Canvas, you'll see there is these guidelines, this PDF with these guidelines about how to set good goals. And so what I'd like you to do, and it's optional, and there's not a grade, but what I'd like you to do ideally is come up with a goal, use the SMART goal setting guidelines, and then any little like things you can do along the way. It could be, again, Cameron, for you, it's like, okay, I'm going to graduate from college. Maybe I've had students set the goal, I'm going to graduate from college in 3 years. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to have to take 18 or 19 units a semester plus summer school. I'm going to have to get these grades. I'm going to have to do this work. I'm going to have to make sure I have this all lined up. And so they set this goal for 3-year graduation, and then they have to meet all these little road markers to make that happen. So I want you to start to think about that. It's, again, never too early to start setting goals, okay? And they could be financial goals. Think about financial and lifestyle goals. I've got a junior that's going, here's my financial, or here's my lifestyle goal. I want to be able to afford opportunities to be with my family. So for her, it was all about time management. It was all about being able to have time to do what she wants to do. So that's a lifestyle goal for her. And for some of you, or maybe it's about, I want to go join the Peace Corps for 2 years. I want to go travel the world for a year after college. I want to go work, with World Vision, doing microfinance loans to help people in Ghana for a year. There's all sorts of goals you can set for yourself, okay? And so just start to think about some of those. Any questions you have? Any thoughts? Okay, so don't forget this week, again, you're going to look at accounting. You're going to look at accounting through chapter 15. Next week is our last week together. We are done. Next week is our last week. And so, this week you're going to talk about accounting. You're going to learn about the balance sheet. You're going to learn about an income statement, statement of cash flows. You'll learn more about that in accounting 2001 with either Carl, Liz, or Steve. For some of you, I say this in the video, if you haven't watched it, for some of you, you think you want to be in marketing or you want to be in just business admin or something like that. You're going to take accounting 2001 and you're going to say, I'm going to be an accountant. And some of you may find that to be funny, but you won't know until you actually take the class. And I have students every day who switch their majors to accounting because they took the class and like, oh my gosh, I love this. It's so concrete. It's so pragmatic. Or you take accounting 2002 and you decide you actually want to major in finance and do big decision stuff and do your MBA. I don't know. But anyway, so these are two important topics that I can't really teach you that well. Steve, Carl, and Liz will teach you this. And Bud Nelson, who's the former corporate controller and vice president of accounting for Qualcomm, he'll be teaching you a lot about this. And so we've got a great staff to teach you this. Don't forget, I'd be super, super, super excited to see as many of you out Friday morning at 7 a.m. For those of you that jumped in late, Friday morning at 7 a.m., we are going to go run with the running club. The Loma Outdoors has a Friday morning, every other Friday morning running club. And we run down, it's not anything intense unless you want to make it intense, but we run down to OB Beams, grab some coffee. Maybe I'll buy coffee for you. I don't know. And then we do a little devotional down there and then we run back. And you can swim if you want. On the way back, you can stop the cliffs. I guess jump off a cliff if you want. Don't jump off a cliff. But you could, I guess, if you wanted to. And then, yeah, that's it. It gives you a little wake up in the morning on Friday morning. So hope to see you all out there on Friday if you can make it. So if there's no other questions, we are done for the day. Let me know again if you have any questions about the case study or anything like that, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions for you. Until then, appreciate you all so much. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I actually do have a quick question about
Yeah, Luke, what's up, man?
the extra credit. I went to go register and it's not letting me. But there is a Zoom link that's on the website. Do I just join that and watch the Zoom or what?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just do that.
And then just the rest of that. Okay.
That's it.
Sounds good.
And then just make sure
Thank
you
you.
connect with at least Daryl and then one other person. Connect with Daryl Anderson. He's the Nike
Okay.
recruiter here.
Connect with him on LinkedIn?
Yep.
Okay,
And then,
perfect.
And then shoot me an email letting me know you did this.
Okay, thank you.
Cool, Luke.
Go on.
Yep. Gabby, do you have a question? Tyler, do you have a question?
No, sorry. I was just on a phone call with my dad.
You're okay. You're okay. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
You too.